They descended in solemn silence, lining up behind Whis. He was the one who led them. He was the one who carried the decision. And he was the key to the wish that brought them back from nothing. Then the light changed. Another radiance erupted. Another arrival. The gods of destruction. Those who had once fallen, those who had been Goku's fiercest enemies in the past, had now returned. They stood again, not driven by revenge, but to stand where they should have been from the very beginning. In that moment, Goku was no longer alone. The universe, with all its contradictions, had finally chosen to stand beside him. The priest took a step back for the first time. His eyes widened, not in fear, but in realization of something that had happened without his notice. A few seconds passed, then he smiled and said with eerie calm, "Ha! How did I overlook this? Everything was happening behind my back, and I thought silence was obedience." Then he raised his voice, looking at them all. "Don't tell me you suddenly decided to stand with Goku, the one who was the very cause of your annihilation in the first place."
At that moment, we stepped forward and said with unmistakable clarity, "None of them stood with you out of conviction. They walked under your shadow, out of fear, not loyalty. And when your deception was exposed, everyone understood the truth." The space trembled. Then another voice rang out. Beerus stepped forward from the ranks of the gods of destruction and said, "It's true. I once fought Goku, and it's true that my pride blinded me. But today, we have come to atone for our mistakes." He clenched his fist and added, "Even if only a single pulse remains in our veins, we will stand with him. We will stand with the one who carried the burden of this existence in our place." At that moment, everyone began to charge. Aura after aura, light after light. The energy of the angels merged with the power of destruction. The sight was awe-inspiring, as if the universe itself were holding its breath. The priest looked at them, smiled, and said, "Good. You have all revealed your intentions. That way, I won't forget anyone when I erase all who dared to think against my rule, even in secret." Then, everything exploded. A single scream, a single assault. The angels released their power all at once. The gods of destruction unleashed their very essence. A cosmic wave, light and annihilation at the same time. And in the midst of it all, the necklace was floating. It was no longer merely glowing. It was drawing in light, not only from this dimension, but from the original one, from planet Earth. There, everyone felt something different. Warmth, a call. Someone shouted, "That's Goku! I'm sure of it! He's asking for our help!" Krillin raised his hand first, then Piccolo, then one, then another. Entire groups raised their hands, hearts trembling yet filled with hope. Light burst forth from them like sincere sparks, rising into the sky before vanishing toward the distant rift. It was not merely the light of power, it was the light of faith. Faith that this man who had fallen would not be left alone. And in the other dimension, the light was gathering, and the confrontation was approaching its decisive moment. The screams tore through space. Gods of destruction and angels of the universes, everyone was pushing with their full power. And at the center of this storm, the priest stood, threatened by forces beyond imagination. His scream rose through the space, burning with rage. Then he released an immense wave of destruction. The wave surged forth, rising and striking down gods of destruction and angels alike. Everything that stood in its path fell before its overwhelming violence. The priest said, his voice shaking existence like thunder.
Traitors. All of you are traitors. Those for whom I created order, those to whom I granted existence. How dare you turn against me? I will make your betrayal a new law of torment. I will erase your names from time itself and leave no trace of you, not even in memory.
Suddenly, a flare of golden light rose from the ground, a pillar of radiance like life itself. It reflected on the priest's face, and shock froze his features.